2014, February 28th, Thailand. Today we're going to do a study on the abomination of desolation. So the third temple has to be built. And here it says in Mark 13:14, "But when ye shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, standing where he ought not, let him that readeth understand. Then let him that be in Judea flee to the mountains." Judea is Israel. Okay, so moving right along. I have a lot of pages open, so bear with me. So this is the abomination of desolation, when the devil sits in the Holy of Holies. Alright, so the temple has to be built first. But there's a dome of the rock on the where the second temple was destroyed in 70 AD. The Muslims built their own mosque on top of it. So it says, Israel to destroy the Dome of the Rock Mosque on the Temple Mount. Time for the third temple to be built. Prophecy at hand. And it says, this is huge, many high-ranking Israel officials declaring that the mosque, the Dome of the Rock, has to go now. Will Israel destroy the temple? Question mark. Well, we have 4 blood moons this year. So usually that means in the past for Israel that there would be a war, and then they gained some more land. Like in 1948, 4 blood moons, they became a country. Before that, they were persecuted by Hitler. And then in the 67 war, 4 blood moons, they were attacked by 6 Arab countries. They destroyed them in 6 days and took the Golan Heights, the Gaza Strip, and the West Bank. And they gave away the Gaza Strip when President Bush was in, and that was the day we had Katrina. So now we have John Kerry trying to make peace with Israel, giving away more land, which is bad, whoever does it, because that's God's land that he gave to the Jews. So my computer's kind of freezing up here, so bear with me. So we can see that in Daniel 9:24, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people, the Jews. 70 weeks. 1 week is a year. So 70 weeks is 70 years. Okay? So, or 1 week is 7 years. So you go 70 times 7 is 490 years from the time Daniel prophesies this. So, to the Messiah, to the Prince, in Daniel 9:25 shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks, and the street shall be built again. Well, that's 69 weeks. That's when Jesus came. And then it says in Daniel 26, he shall be cut off at the 69th week. So there's 1 more week left. 1 week is 7 years. And then in Daniel 9:27 it says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. Confirm the covenant. That's what John Kerry's trying to do between the Palestinians and Israel right now. So you can see that Israel police, Palestinians clash at the Temple Mount. And this was on February 25th, because the Jews were going to put a flag up there marking that they're going to put their temple up there, and the Palestinians didn't like it. So they threw rocks and people were injured. And then Israel minister calls for a third temple right here. The third temple, which is a requirement for the abomination of desolation, which happens around the middle of the 7th week. So it would take about maybe 3 years to build it, 4 years, which would put it right around the mid-trib. So, you know, the rapture could be this year or next year during the 4 blood moons. You never know. But he gives us signs. No one knows the time of the dates, but he does give us signs of the times. And then it says in 2 Timothy 4:3, it says, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. That people won't believe this sound doctrine in the last days. They will go after their own ungodly lusts. So 2 Timothy says, 2:15 says, study to show thyself approved unto God. Study the word. A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. King James is the only one that says, study to show thyself approved. NIV, all the other ones, the devil has changed it, and it doesn't say study, it just says be obedient to God. It doesn't say anything about studying the word, because the devil doesn't want you to study the word. So we're going to study the word now. So here on October 4th, 2012, it says, following the dream, a third temple in Jerusalem. More than 90% of Israel public wants to pray at the new temple. Moving right along. U.S. wants peace by the end of 2014 between the Palestinians and the Jewish leaders. They said it's probably now or never. So that's why John Kerry is heading over there. Actually, John Kerry wants to get it done by April, which would be the first blood moon on April 15th. April 15th is the first blood moon. Let me check right here. So the American Israel lobby must fully back Kerry's Israel-Palestine initiative. Okay, so Kerry is the one that's pressing this right now. Now the Islams want everything. They want all of Israel. They don't just want the West Bank and the Gaza Strip and the Golan Heights. They want all of Israel. So here's the 4 blood moons. November we had Hanukkah, where the Esau planet came by. April 15th, the first Jewish Passover, a red blood moon, as you can see. And then the next one, October 8th, Feast of Tabernacle. And then next year on New Year is a solar eclipse. And then April next year, there's another blood moon. And then the Feast of Tabernacle on September 28th. And then the Feast of Trumpets. That could be a rapture date too. But no one knows. We just have signs. I'm not giving any dates or times. So this is the Dome of the Rock. If you're not familiar with it, the Islam said this is where Muhammad came down from heaven, and the Jews say this is where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac, and then the angel held his hand back and tested Abraham's love. So this is where the first and the second temple was already built. So they want the third temple built right here, but Islam has custody over it in 1948 after the World War II. The Muslims got to keep this part. So the sacred rock over the Dome of the Rock is considered the holy before Islam. Jews believe and still believe the rock is the very place where Abraham prepared the sacrifice for Isaac. And the Muslims think it's where Muhammad ascension was. So as we can see in Jeremiah, it says in 33:7, it says, I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Israel to return, and I will build them up as at the first. So he brought them back into Israel after almost 2,000 years in 1948, as this prophecy said. And the other prophecies that come true, the third temple has to be built, which could be happening. They could start building it this year. They got the Sanhedrin in place to do sacrifice again. And so this is about the Gog and Magog war, Armageddon at the end. I won't go into that right now, maybe next time. And and then this last verse I wanted to show you. And it says, Revelation 22:7, Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keep these sayings of the prophecy of this book. Now you can see the prophecies, and he's coming quickly. There are so many people on the internet having visions, dreams of the rapture, end times. I mean, I got my visions and knowledge when Esau came by from November to January. I was just getting filled. And so, and then there was 4 blood moons when Christ was crucified, as you can see right here. April 14th, and then 33 AD, April 3rd, that's the crucifixion. 4 blood moons then. 4 blood moons this year. And there's the Dome of the Rock. Alright. Well, I just hope you believe in Jesus. If you don't, ask him to save you. And he will, and we'll see you in heaven. Yeshua Mashiach.